Hello everyone, I am Amelia Brewer. I am a psychotherapist and relationship coach, and today I'm going to answer this question. Somebody asked me this question: how do you start loving yourself? Well, it's not as difficult as people might think. Okay, so if you kind of look at it like we have conscious and we have subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is always in command and your subconscious mind always obeys. Subconscious mind is something like a giant computer with unlimited memory space, and everything that happened to you, everything that somebody said about you is stored in that subconscious mind. Most of us, we go on autopilot. We kind of allow our subconscious mind to take control. So let's say something happens to you. Let's say you've been rejected on a date. And what happens then, you go into your automatic programming. There is a trigger coming in, you've been rejected on a date, and it goes into your subconscious mind where it finds everything about you that is going to confirm that you are not lovable. Your mom said something about you, your dad said something about you, your previous girlfriend rejected you for whatever reason, and that is going to confirm that thinking, I am not lovable, and therefore I don't love myself, yeah? So how do we change this? As I said, we have conscious and subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is always in command and your subconscious mind always obeys. What it means is that you can decide whether you want to perceive that situation based on what your programming and conditioning is, which is not correct. It is only based on what other people think. It's not the reality, and it's not all people. It will be only a few people that maybe said something to you and it's kind of stuck. So you can now decide, I'm not going to focus on any of that is in my subconscious mind, and I'm going to consciously decide to think how I am actually lovable, how I can maybe contribute to this relationship, okay? So let me give you an example. We have evidence of both being lovable and maybe not really lovable, yes? There will be things that we have done, they are not necessarily the best things, and therefore some people might not like that. So how do you actually do that? If I give you an example, if I kind of started thinking of myself as somebody who is successful or somebody who is not successful, I would have evidence in my subconscious mind of both. And I can now choose to focus on everything I failed in. And there is lots of it, okay? And that would make me think, okay, I'm not a successful person. What is then going to happen? I'm going to have this thought. It always follows like this. There is a thought. It's like a formula. After thought, you will have an emotion about that experience or about that thought. And after emotion, you're going to have some kind of behavior based on that emotion, and then there will be a consequence of it. So if you look at your thought and if you choose negative thought about yourself, saying I'm not lovable because, and then you pick something from your subconscious mind, yeah, or it goes on autopilot, it doesn't have to be a conscious process, this is happening subconsciously. And therefore you are going to have, let's say, I'm not lovable because my previous girlfriend said so, yeah? And therefore you are going to have emotion linked to it. The emotion is always going to be negative. If your thought is negative, the emotion is going to be negative. And after negative emotion, you're going to have negative behavior, meaning, well, I'm not going to start approaching anybody else because it is going to end exactly as the previous relationships, yes? So I'm not going to start approaching anybody else, and there'll be consequence of it, and that will be that you are going to be single at the age of 50, let's say, yeah? So if we change that thought, let's say we go into positive and then find evidence of it in your subconscious mind. Well, I know that that person didn't find me lovable, but I had relationships and some people were really in love with me. And then you go into, that's a positive thought, and then you remember whatever experience you had about a relationship that was actually successful, yeah? And then you go in a positive emotion, and you will say to yourself, yeah, okay, maybe that didn't work out, but you know, I have evidence of relationships that worked out, and well, not necessarily worked out, but they were kind of successful for a period of time. And then you will have positive emotion, and then you will have positive behavior, and then you are going to have positive consequence. Saying, for example, I am lovable because, I don't know, Jenny from Washington, you had a pretty good time for a period of time. then you are going to have positive emotion about it. After that is going to be positive behavior, saying, yeah, okay, I can see that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, so why don't I try again? And then you will have a consequence of it, which is going to be, you will find somebody who is going to be who is going to love you. Okay, so that is how you actually have this. So the second part of it is, how do you love yourself? That would be how you change your thinking about maybe somebody else loving you. Yeah. So how do you love yourself? So as I mentioned before, I can choose to focus on what I want to focus on. Let's say I have evidence in my subconscious mind of me being successful. Yeah. I also have evidence in my subconscious mind of me failing. For example, when I was giving my first presentation, it was horrendous. Honestly, it was so bad that somebody actually had to jump in to stop me. And so if I started to focus on, I would never in my life did my talks or presentations or conferences as I do now, because I would be kind of constantly going, oh no, I can't do any public speaking because my first presentation was really bad. What I now tend to choose is on everything that I was successful in, and therefore my thought about that experience is not going to be negative, which means if I have thought that is not positive about something, it's going to be followed by a positive emotion, and after positive emotion is a positive behavior, and then we have the positive consequence. So can you see how it works? You will have evidence in your mind of both. Why should you be loving yourself, or why should you love yourself, why you are lovable, yeah? And you are going to have evidence in your subconscious mind of things that why you are not lovable. And it is now up to you which one you are going to focus on. What you are going to be focusing on, that is how you are going to experience yourself. If you focus on everything that is positive about you, you will start thinking, I am pretty amazing. I am actually quite outstanding, yeah? If you start focusing on everything that is negative about you, then you are going to be living that consequence of that, which means that you are going to have negative emotion about yourself. You are going to first have negative thought about yourself. After that, you are going to have negative emotion about yourself. And after that, you are going to have negative behavior, which is going to lead to negative consequence. Okay. Now, if you do want to have more help, or if you would like to discuss this more and maybe find something that is specific to you, I will leave link in my comments or description underneath the video, and just click on the link and you can book one-on-one session with me. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.